Korvoth peered over the lip of the hill, a pair of golems prodding and poking at the rotten carcass of some mutilated beast. At least it told Korvoth that there were animals to hunt in this drenched and sodden landscape. Now he just had to find one and kill it to settle his rumbling and roaringly angry stomach. He could take them. Korvoth mulled it over thoughtfully. He might be able to kill them both. But would he be in any shape to do anything afterward? Worse, did they work in groups? These two were the most he'd seen together, but he had no idea if the golems talked to one another, or even had some way of signaling to each other. He just sort of gave up. The smart play was not to interfere with things that were not bothering him. And Korvoth knew that he wasn't like Lothran in all the ways that he really wanted to be. Lothran could handle any situation, knew exactly what to do no matter what the cost was. And Korvoth understood that he wasn't really like that. Not just because of what he might know, but all the many details of what he didn't know. So he skulked off back into the bleak hillsides, gathering a few edible berries and tiny budding fruits here and there as he traveled. He walked and walked, moving till long after his muscles gave up their earlier complaints of the day that would surely return and be all the louder and more furious tomorrow morning. There were very few plants here, or shrubs or trees at all of any kind or substance. Very few. Mostly it was wind, rain, long dark green grass and wet moss, and a hollow sort of sadness lurking in even the dimmest shadows. It was all a little wearing upon his mind. Lothran had to be testing his resolve in some manner. He just couldn't figure out the angle. This couldn't just be a simple progression, and the thought worked over and over again as he took each and every step. There was something else here, a feeling, a sensation that some of the answers Lothran couldn't or didn't dare voice had seeped into the natural rhythm of this desiccated place so very long ago somehow. But the words behind the stones remained elusive to Korvoth's young and tired brain, while he found a dozen worn stone frames of what had once been warm and loved homes. All the evidence and all the components of people's lives had been stripped away, both by time and the hands of diligent designers of misfortune. Eventually, Korvoth had to retreat to his small shelter, waking up the dirt-banked fire as the frigid hand of night stole whatever glimmer of hope the gloomy days could bring to anything struggling for another breath. The song of the near-constant shifting rains, Korvoth's only constant companion as he fixed himself a meager meal. He checked his traps, smiling with outright joy as he witnessed another treat, a beacon in this pit of misery, a still writhing scale-covered vermin, more akin in shape to a rat than a lizard. He'd eat another veritable feast tonight, same as the night before last, and a few others just like it. Surprising that he relished the well-cooked, almost burnt and ashy flavor his best efforts would surely produce yet again. After so long used to Lothran preparing every last one of his meals, Korvoth swelled with a certain and significant pride whenever he got the chance to cook for himself. Korvoth slowly settled into his bed, his thoughts wandering, as his feet had done all day. He found himself puzzled by the suddenness of his arrival here. Why would Lothrin end his time within Foundry? What was it that he had done or chosen not to do that would bring him to such a horrid place as this? It was all more than a little overwhelming. And wrapped snugly against his makeshift bedding, stuck by repetitive bouts of self-doubt, warmed by the fire and consoled by little else in existence.